It's Latino Rebels Radio. Latino Rebels Radio. Julio, Ricardo, Varela, Julito 77. It is Sunday, March 19th, 2017. We've been doing it differently the last couple of weeks because my co-host Sharis Delgadillo has been out in Austin living large in South by Southwest. And I'm just going to bring her on right now because literally she got on a plane from Austin to Los Angeles. Sharis Delgadillo, you are back. You're back.
I'm back.
You survived. I
survived.
All right, so listen, we did it a little bit differently last week because you were out and about, and we talked to John Leguizamo, and you talked to Van Jones, and then it was a great show. And then we decided, hey, let's just do this differently again. Let's not go live, right? Let's just do a podcast. I record you. You're calling me from L.A., but you got Residente. You got René. I
know. That was fun, though.
Like, how did that? I mean, seriously, you recorded it, so I think we should just go ahead and play it now, right?
Yeah, let's just go ahead and play it.
Just go ahead and play it, and then you can react after. How's that sound?
Sounds good.
Okay.
Let's do it.
All right. This is Sharis Delgadillo from Latino Rebels Radio of LatinoRebels.com. We are in Austin today at South by Southwest 2017. We have here in La Casa a revolutionary and legendary Puerto Rican hip-hop artist, Residente, winner of 24 Latin Grammys, who just premiered his documentary, Residente. Saludos.
Hola. Hi. How are you?
Good. So just tell us, so what's the documentary? If you're going to just introduce what the documentary is about to us.
Yeah, well, the documentary is about me tracing my DNA ancestors. I decided to document the whole process while I was making my new album. And my new album is based on my DNA test that I did like a few years ago. I did it again to make sure that it's true and it's the same. I did it twice, the test, and I travel to different parts of the world. I traveled to Africa, to Ossetia, Georgia, Armenia, Serbia, China, Russia, Puerto Rico. I traveled to 11 countries in order to make the album and also the documentary. But the documentary is not about me, it's more about the collaborators and their stories.
So going back to the DNA test, so when did you do the DNA test and what inspired you to make the musical composition around the results of your DNA test?
Well, the DNA test is, I did it separately, like both of the things, like the ideas came out like the DNA test, I did it like 6 years ago or 5 years ago when it was like very unknown for a lot of people.
What were your results the first time around?
It was the same. Yeah, if they changed, then I don't believe them, but it was the same. So.
But what were the results? I mean, so what were the results and were you in shock about what you received?
The thing is that I didn't receive that because it was a coworker who told me about the test. So he did the test. I liked the idea, but I didn't receive those. So he received that, and he told me, "Oh, you are from da 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 da." He told me over the phone. So I was interested, but I forget about that test for a while. The original idea was to go to those places and maybe document or something, but I forget about that idea at that time, and I started to make the new concepts for the album. And while I was doing that, I was searching so much, like what I'm gonna do. Like I was a little bit blocked for a few weeks, and suddenly I said, "Oh, I just have to do music based on those tests that I did like a few years ago." So there's when I decided to make music based on my DNA, and then I decided to do the test again to make sure because I never received those results. So I did it, and I got them through email. Like they just emailed me my results, and I was able to see all the areas, the regions So because of that, I was able to also choose and change some of the places that I was already looking. For example, I was searching for Benin because he told me I had from Benin, but I have more from Senegal. But I had to study why I have from Senegal, so it was maybe because of the Fon tribe. So the Fons, they were all over the place in West Africa, so that means that I can choose from West Africa in general. You see, they are precise, but they are really precise, but also you can uh, like follow like your own map. You see, like for example, I have 7% of Native American. They don't told me, they didn't send me or said to me that I had specifically from Siberia, from Kisil, but because of their music and also because of Siberians are the ones who cross the Bering Strait to get to the U.S. You know, not the U.S. but North America and Alaska, and then you connect that and you can go to Siberia.
So that was your own like connection that you made, because I know that, you know, especially being I'm Mexican and you're Puerto Rican, so we kind of already like assume more or less where lineage comes from. So I think for people like me, they're gonna be like, wow, like he's he's got DNA going from Siberia all the way to
All of us has from Siberia.
yeah.
Like you have from Siberia
Yeah.
too. I'm from Africa. Like, but it's not my connection. It's like it's history,
Yeah.
and it's that there are things that you can't change. Like like it's already proved like they already proven or prove that the people from Siberia, they cross the Bering Strait, and that's why we have they are very look-alike from Native Americans, and then we have all the indigenous tribes.
So hold on. So what was the I'm gonna make sure I just have the sound going. So what was the experience like? Because I know that you also had a documentary where you traveled throughout Latin America and you were in touch with a lot of like the indigenous roots, right? So what was this other round for you like in terms of like identity and your connection to who you are as an individual and global politics, like your whole perception, like what has shifted?
Since that time, when I did Simapa, yeah, it was a different documentary because in Simapa I wasn't making music, so here it was kind of a better way to connect with people, because if you had the language barrier, at least with music you can connect easily because it's the same language, so it's an universal language. So through music it was a lot easier to connect with people, and yeah, this is a more global thing, I felt it even more lost than in Sinmapa. In Sinmapa, it was the first time that I traveled through Latin America that way, but I was feeling like I'm at home. Here you feel like you're an intruder, like you're a visitor, you're not a resident, and maybe you're uninvited. So, it's you have to have like a different kind of sensitivity skill. The way you say things, the way you behave, the way you do everything. So for me, this one was a lot more difficult to make. Also, it took me more time.
How long did it take you to film?
Like about 2 years, almost 2 years. Like I was like a year and a half or 2 years making this, and I just did 10 songs. So it's like maybe my fans, they know me. Like I when I do songs, I like to do 11, no more than that, or 10. Well, I have 13 tracks because I have them also perform like some interludes, and I have an intro. But they're very, I make them like very in an artisanal way, like very handcraft, like. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, because you have like a lot of sounds from orchestra sounds from China. You have more more like mountainous tribal songs from Siberia and from Africa, and then you take it back to Puerto Rico, right? So it seems like it's a very ambitious project. So in terms of music, I mean, talk to us a little bit more about what we can expect to hear in the album and when that's going to come out.
Yeah, in terms of music, it's I think it's the best thing that I've ever done, because that's what I try to do all the time. Like with all the albums, I try to do my best in order to keep going, and and it's more mature. It's a really nice mix. The reason that I think it's the best thing that I've ever done is because it's before I used to do like every song is like a concept, but none of them can connect with each other in the same way. Like with this album, all the songs can connect to each other. All the songs are like part of a whole thing, and the concept is, as a whole, is great. And musically speaking, also I was able to put more electronics than before, because I had more freedom making music, and I was able to do whatever I wanted. And I mix it with organic, but it sounds pretty nice. Like, and also the lyrics, all the lyrics tells a story of those different places. So I think it's very relevant now because of what's happening with Trump and all the immigrants around the world. It's an important work, and also now that every artist is just thinking about doing a collaboration with another artist in order to go out, because I don't know why they are scared of doing something by their own. If you see in the radio, like what they have is all featurings, and they sound the same. And it's sad for music, so I wanted to, even though I'm collaborating with these people, they are unknown people for the industry and for a lot of people. And for me also, it was very important to do that, to collaborate with them and to do something, to go out with my music without having the needs of being with, I don't know, another artist.
Right, like another hip-hop artist or something. So, I mean, you're basically building bridges and cultural bridges, through, what you did and the kind of music that you're bringing to this audience. Pero ahora te lo voy a cambiar en un poquito en español para que te expreses mejor. Y luego, al fin de la película, regresaste al documental, regresaste a Puerto Rico. Luego, entonces, obviamente ahorita hay muchas noticias que está pasando mucho lo que está ocurriendo en Puerto Rico con el crisis económica, y luego Oscar López, y luego con toda la situación, lo que está pasando aquí en los Estados Unidos. Pero obviamente se siente a veces que la atención que uno debe la noticia no cubre mucho lo que está pasando en Puerto Rico. ¿Y por qué crees? ¿Por qué crees que la gente no le importa Puerto Rico aquí en los Estados Unidos?
Aquí en Estados Unidos no le importa a nadie, de nadie, no solo Puerto Rico. Okay. Ellos no saben. Yeah. Estás hablando de un país que cuando ponen una revista y una persona en la portada dicen que es la mujer más linda del mundo. Estás hablando de un país que cuando se ganan el Grammy del disco del año, los artistas verdaderamente piensan que son el mejor disco del año. O sea, ellos obvian todo lo que pasa alrededor de ellos. No saben que la mujer más linda del mundo no tiene que ser rubia y no es de aquí, lo más seguro. Pero pues eso es lo que pasa aquí. Entonces, pues, menos va a importarle Puerto Rico, que es una islita pequeña, que ellos somos esclavos de ellos prácticamente. La gente no lo ve así, en Puerto Rico no lo ven así, porque pues tienen la mente colonizada, 100 años siendo una colonia, educándote para que estés así, pues vas a estar así y vas a pensar que al revés, que Estados Unidos te está ayudando y que es un gran apoyo el que nos dan. Pero nos dieron un pasaporte a cambio pues, de ir a la guerra, a cambio de estar en bancarrota ahora, a cambio de no tener autoestima, a cambio de no ser libre, a cambio de no tener un himno, a cambio de no tener presidente, a cambio de nada. Es inhumano lo que pasa ahí, pero bueno, a nadie le importa. Yo pongo mi grano de arena y trato de darlo siempre, de expresarme y hablar sobre eso, y es lo que puedo hacer por ahora, porque pues yo no creo en la violencia como antes se creía, ¿entiendes? Llegué a ser 50 años antes y pues agarraban un rifle y pues se rebelaban, pero pues ya eso no está, hay que hacer la revolución desde otro lugar. Sí.
Bueno, me imagino que tu audiencia y puertorriqueños en la isla tienen mucho orgullo de ti para ver a alguien crecer. Y luego, ¿cómo la gente cómo puede escuchar y saber de la película y cuándo van a salir el nuevo disco?
El nuevo disco sale, sí, todavía. Claro. Ok, sí, bueno, vamos a hablar más tarde. Yo te digo después cuando sale, pero estamos tomando esas decisiones ahora, pero sí, la idea es que salga a fines de marzo.